Okay, back with you on the Bronx Buzz. I am incredibly excited, and I know you're going to be excited too when you see what we've got in our second segment. We are going to talk with two incredible. I mean, I'm looking at a teaching artist, social justice educator. I mean, these people are really doing some great stuff in the Bronx and elsewhere. So let's say good evening to our friend Fyütch. Nice to have you back on our programs.
Thank you, Gary. What's up, everybody? Glad to be back.
And also, Culture Queen is here with us. Nice to have you with us.
Hello.
And so we've got Kwanzaa is coming up. We know that. We're going to say happy holidays to everybody. And, I'm going to start this in a way with a political thing. Black Lives Matter was a very important thing from a political point of view to establish certain injustices in our society. But what you guys do is talk about culture and using culture to empower people. I mean, I know this because Fyütch has been on the show. So, Fyütch, why don't you just talk about the work that you and Culture Queen did on Kwanzaa?
Yeah, absolutely. So, actually, Culture Queen and I met through a collective organization called Family Music Forward, which was birthed out of low representation for black artists in children's music when we recognized that over half of the kids that we serve of the schools that we go into, because we both have history as teaching artists, are kids who look like us, are black kids, are kids from neighborhoods that grew up in the neighborhoods that we grew up in. So Family Music Forward is an organization that we connected with through that, and also through the One Tribe Collective, which is a group of 26 black family music artists who came out with an album. So we both have a few songs on that album actually, and had ended up the album is now Grammy nominated as of this year, and we also collaborated on this song as a birth of that. So we've gotten closer within the past 6 or so months with this shared mission of what we've been doing.
As I said, and I don't want to keep harping on it, but there has been a great awareness in Black America through Black Lives Matter. I think that I don't want to say a better or worse way of changing people's minds, of establishing identity is through what you're doing. Culture Queen, I guess that jives right with what you're all about.
Oh yeah.
Talk to me about what your work is and why you do what you do and why this Kwanzaa work, and we're going to see a video called the Kwanzaa Slide, why it's so important, especially right now.
Oh, yeah. Well, I've been creating empowering entertainment for your royal children for the past 11 years, but I've been celebrating Kwanzaa. This year makes my 20th anniversary celebrating Kwanzaa and facilitating Kwanzaa programs as a Kwanzaa expert across the country for children, families, schools, museums, all kinds of programs. You name it, I've done it. And the thing that I love about Kwanzaa is it is the ultimate African American holiday that helps you to celebrate family, culture, and community. And so when Fyütch and I met, we decided that, we wanted to figure out something that we could do together that would be perfect for Kwanzaa, because Kwanzaa has lots of music, but not a line dance. And we thought this would be a great way to teach people about the meaning of the holiday and also how to celebrate it in a really, really fun and exciting way, which is always my approach to teaching Black history, which is to make it fun and exciting and engaging and very empowering. And so we started working, like Fyütch wasn't in like September or something like that.
I think so. I think that's when we first connected around the end of
September of this
September.
year.
Yes.
Yeah, like
Wow. And you've put you put some real good stuff together. I just want to ask you, Culture Queen, about when you approach culture in this way, when you
mhm.
approach a holiday in this way, it gives kids a chance to reach out and touch it,
Yeah.
as opposed to, listen, Hanukkah, Christmas, all these other holidays. I don't want to say it, but they're ancient holidays. This is so modern. And when you talk about family and culture and all the other things, so why don't you just for a moment before we show the video, talk to us about the relevance of Kwanzaa to today. I don't want to say more or less so, but it really feels like it connects almost better than some of the older, more traditional holidays that we have.
Well, Kwanzaa was created in 1966 by Dr. Mulana Karinga, and it is a younger, newer holiday, which I think is really cool because what holiday can you name that you actually can meet the founder? He's still alive. And so 1966, this is, the height of, I don't want to just say the civil rights movement because African Americans in this country have had this experience from the day since 1619 and before. And so when we talk about making this relevant, Kwanzaa being an African American holiday, it's always been relevant. What FYUTCH and I have done with this song is continue to infuse the Black joy. With all that's going on in the world, we want to make sure that even though we make sure that we honor our history and definitely deal with some of the terrible things that have been going on to people who look like us, we still want our people and people who to experience Kwanzaa, to experience the Black joy, excitement that comes from learning and celebrating your history.
FYUTCH, who created this Kwanzaa Slide, was it the two of you together kind of doing a little dance step and said, let's come up with something?
Yeah, so right. So she had come to me and said she wanted to do another Kwanzaa song that had dance elements. Gary, have you heard of the cha-cha slide? The electric slide. When you think of that,
Yes,
we wanted
yes,
that.
I have.
Okay, good. We wanted that for Kwanzaa, basically, because like she said, it's never been done. So there are a few other Kwanzaa songs out there, some that I've done, some that some classic artists have done, like I think Donny Hathaway, some other people as well. Teddy Pendergrass, exactly. So this was definitely a newer type experience. And the fun thing I like to do is make really, really catchy music. So we really connected on the soulful catchiness, dance vibe of it, and just got to work on it really quick.
Let's show it. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, it is FYUTCH and the Culture Queen and the Kwanzaa Slide. Let her rip.
Happy Kwanzaa, happy Kwanzaa, happy Kwanzaa. Come on everybody and show your pride. Let's do the Kwanzaa Slide. 7 is the magic number. Yeah, it's Kwanzaa time. Family, culture, community. Yeah, you know the vibe. Party don't stop 7 days and nights. Do the Kwanzaa Slide.
Take it to the left. Put your fist up high and turn it all around.
Take it to the right. A rock side to side and shake it down to the ground.
Just slide and then stop.
Slide and then stop. Slide, slide, slip and slide. That's right, do the Kwanzaa Slide. You're cordially invited to the party of the year.
Come on, it's a family affair. Dressed to impress in your red, black, and green.
Looking like African kings and queens.
Do you know what Kwanzaa means?
It means first fruits in Swahili.
Habari gani.
What's the news?
Meet us on the floor with your dancing shoes.
Come on everybody and show your pride.
All right, I'm dancing in my seat here. It's completely infected. FYUTCH, you work with young people in the Bronx. Have you shown it to them? And can you? I'll assume you have. And can you give us a reaction?
So I've been showing them kind of the what you call it, getting up to the point of the song. So I showed them the cover art of me and Culture Queen in my classroom. I teach middle school this year, so I showed them the cover. Hadn't got to show them the song yet because actually, unfortunately, schools have gone back virtual. But best believe I'm sending it out through our Google Classroom portal to make sure they watch the video and answer a few questions to see what they learned about the holiday.
Culture Queen, a little less familiar with what you do on a daily basis. We know what FYUTCH does. Talk to me about reactions that you get on the concept and on the specifics. It's incredibly infectious. I mean, there's no question about it. As I said, I was doing my thing right here, my little seat here.
Well, listen, you're welcome to do the dance and share it.
Thank you.
On a daily basis, I definitely am Culture Queen, but I'm also the Chief Program Officer of Arts for Learning Maryland, also known or formerly known as Young Audiences of Maryland. And we serve 250,000 students, putting arts programs and artists into schools. But this is what I'll say. Yesterday, I had a Kwanzaa program, and I showed it to some students in Florida. And I was watching them do the dance and they loved it. And so what I think is what we're seeing through social media, on Instagram, and all the places where FYUTCH and I have been able to share it thus far is that everyone loves the song. They love this amazing.
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, Fyütch is amazing with his music. Like, I just got to give it up to him. The beat is catchy.
Oh, thank
You know what?
you.
What I want to conclude with is for each of you, Culture Queen. You can start. Why is this a really good way to communicate with young people and really any people to help them learn their culture, aside from what we see on TV and all that stuff? But what about this works for young people? Culture
Well,
Queen, you first.
well, it's ancestral. We're communicating with our children through their history, music, art, arts integration. This is when we talk about Black history and culture, we are communicating with our children in a way that is part of who they are. And so when we're reaching them first with their heart and their head. And we're not just reaching the children, we're also reaching and teaching the children and the parents as well.
Fyütch, she said it as well or better than you could have said.
Better
No,
than I could have ever said. No, for real, because it,
man.
it comes down to how we are communicating this. It is very ancestral in nature. I always say, for me personally, it's educate, entertain, and empower. It's all wrapped up in one: the music, the teaching, the joy, everything, the learning. It's just been blended into the fabric of everything that I produce artistically.
I'll give you each 15 seconds to just wrap it up. What's next, Fyütch? You can start. What's next for you guys? You're going to continue to collaborate, we assume?
Definitely. Next up is the Grammys. We go to the Grammys next on January 31st. We're in the category Best Children's Music Album with a bunch of other amazing, amazing artists. So it's going to be a celebration. We've all kind of reached a new plateau. So we're really excited.
Does Uncle Gary get a vote? Because if so,
I wish. I wish. It's a
So do
Recording
I.
Academy members only, but I wish you could.
And Culture Queen, for you, what's next? Same kind of thing? You guys are
I
going
would say
together?
the same thing. We're going
That's
to be
exciting.
there with all of our tribe members of All One Tribe Collective, and want to give them a huge shout out for even introducing us to each other so that we can create like this.
You know, we need more of this, not only in Black and African culture, but in every culture. This is how we communicate. This is how, for me, the people of the Bronx get along. But we do it through our music and our cultures, plural. And you guys are just right at the top of the list. Fyütch, thank you so much. And Culture Queen, nice to meet you. And onward and upward, more and more and more. That's what we want to see.
Thank you, Gary.
Thank you.
That's it. We're going to wish everybody happy holidays, happy New Year, Merry Christmas, happy Hanukkah, happy Kwanzaa, and you know what happens next? We want to also want to thank our reporter Morgan Mullings for her great work on the City Council Non-Citizen Voting Act, and you know what's going to happen. We'll see you next week. Holidays or not, we're here. Good night.